Well, here's an HP oximeter. It was invented across Parnassus from UCSF by a surgeon named Robert Shaw. It was very accurate, but it was difficult to mount. It had to be held on the ear with a helmet and a tape around the head. And here's a picture taken up at the Barcroft of David Bruce Dill, a famous U.S. physiologist, mostly working at high altitude, wearing that. Actually, I received this device for use at high altitude by the manufacturer, because when it was put on the market later by Hewlett-Packard, it cost $13,000. We didn't have to buy one. In this picture, Dill had come up there not for research, but for a celebration of turning the Barcroft into the Pace lab, because Pace had been the one who built it. Soon after arrival, with the oximeter mounted, we had him lie down on a cot. He closed his eyes and immediately began chain-stroke breathing. We asked him very quietly, "Are you asleep?" "No," he said, "I'm awake," and he opened his eyes, and the breathing became regular. We had him open and close his eyes periodically for about 10-15 minutes. Each time with his eyes closed, he had chain-stroke or cyclic ventilation. We never published that. But a few weeks ago, when I was up at Barcroft, John Feiner found the same periodic breathing in me at Barcroft with my eyes closed or opened. And he was recording saturation with an oximeter. Well, Dr. Takuo Aoyagi is the inventor of pulse oximetry. He is a Tokyo bioengineer, and in 1973 he discovered how to make a pulse oximeter that used pulse variations of arterial blood to obtain the 4 crucial numbers to compute saturation, like Squire's pneumatic capsule in the 1940s. The 4 crucial numbers are the top of the arterial pulse, the bottom of the arterial pulse, in both red and infrared. Those are 4 numbers, and they all by themselves can compute saturation. Well, I can tell you that it's just been announced that Dr. Aoyagi will receive the IEEE Medal for Innovations in Healthcare Technology next June in New York, and I'll be going to celebrate with him. The first commercial pulse oximeters were marketed in the early 1980s, but it took nearly a decade for pulse oximeters to become really available. By the late 1980s, pulse oximetry became widely available and easily portable, like this Onyx from the Non-In Company in Minneapolis. Actually, I loaned this one to the IMAX filmmaker David Brashears, who was about to go climb Everest with his very big, heavy camera. He got to the top of Everest and put this thing on his finger, and he said that it read 75%. Tom Hornbein says he either didn't take off his oxygen long enough or he made it all up. And I'm going to show you the data we really now know about what the saturation at the top of Everest is. Well, in 1994, using a pulse oximeter, Sato here confirmed the linear acute isocapnic hypoxic ventilatory response that had been originally found by Tony and Maura Campbell. So actually, Sato had used something like 6 subjects to do this computing. So it's pretty solid in showing that it's useful enough as a linear curve.